Welcome. I'm Bimbo Oluyede. Tonight, Senate begins power sector probe. 2.7 trillion naira is said to have been spent on maintenance from 1999 till date. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo visits President Muhammadu Buhari again at the presidential villa. Federal government to review number of Nigerian foreign missions. Presidency says the intention is to keep only what can be managed. And Germany ready to take 500,000 asylum seekers a year.
On business news tonight, impact of weather conditions predicted to cause a decline in cocoa production in West Africa.
And on sports news tonight, Sunday Olise records first victory as Super Eagles coach with a win over Niger.
We begin in Abuja tonight, where the Senate is probing the spending in the power sector from 1999 till date. Revelations from the committee today indicate that 2.7 trillion naira has so far been spent in the maintenance of facilities in the sector. Our correspondent, Lanre Lasisi, reports.
Good morning. It's the first day of the investigative hearing organized by an ad hoc committee of the Senate. The committee is to look into funds appropriated for the power sector since 1999. The Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Power, Mr. Godnos Igali, started with an overview of the challenges facing the sector.
You can see from 1999 that it has not been consistent. For the power sector of this country to go forward, investment from government and the private sector must go up gradually but consistently. Where investments, budget and cumulative private sector and government investment go up and come down dramatically cannot help the country to grow this critical sector that we need both for our social and economic development.
He also touched on the current state of the sector.
So, Mr. Chairman, this is a general picture of the situation. Today, in the post-privatization era, we could have done better but for the very high scale of vandalization and inability for gas to get to our power plants. Today, thank God, gas is getting to our power plants. Vandalism has gone down. In fact, we have not had any experience in the past few months. So we now see progress coming, and we are 2014. We're doing about 3,500 of megawatts and below because of we go up a bit, they bring us down. And for the past 3 months, we have been doing an average of 4,600 megawatts. And we even got a peak of nearly 5,000 megawatts.
The committee was, however, interested in knowing how much the sector had received since 1999.
That was why I was wondering. NIPP alone received about 1.5 trillion.
Yes, it's different, yes.
So then why don't we do the arithmetic so we know the total? The ministry and NIPP. So we're talking about almost 3 trillion, not 950 something billion. Am I right?
Yes, that will be correct.
So can you give us the exact figures now?
Okay, so before
it's not less than 1.5 trillion.
So okay,
so if you add that to the 900, so in essence we are saying government has spent 2.6
overall. What has been spent will be about 2.7 trillion. It was 2.7 trillion. Yes.
So not the not the 948 billion.
Well, I
wanted to get that clear.
Because the NIPP account is an account that's the 3 tiers of the federal government of Nigeria. So if we add the two, yes, that's what the public sector has spent in total.
The committee also received reports from other government agencies. The members questioned some of the reports and figures presented and directed that the figures be reconciled. The investigative hearing continues on Wednesday when generating and transmission companies are expected to interact with the committee. Lanre Lasisi, Channels Television News.
Meanwhile, the provost of the Anti-Corruption Academy, an arm of the Independent Corrupt Practices Commission, Professor Shola Akiriade, has read the Riot Act to legislators across the country, saying the Commission will activate the anti-graft law for all corrupt legislators and those caught perverting the due process of the law. Professor Akinriade, who read the Riot Act in Abuja while addressing state legislators at a session on integrity in the legislature, says the long arm of the law awaits persons who are in the habit of helping themselves to unfair proportions of the national cake.
To entrench integrity into all spheres of public life in this country has never been more urgent. The damage that corruption over the past several years, dating to the immediate pre-independence period, has done to Nigeria's national development process is most probably unquantifiable. This is despite the fact that most international integrity promoting agencies have put the laws at very humongous figures. The damage is more than just loss in earnings and the seepage of national resources into private domains. The larger damage is the arrest of our development process and the national ridicule to which we are subjected in the Committee of Nations. The other part of it is the forewarning of what lies ahead for those who choose to pursue the path of perfidy, that there is a long arm of the law waiting to bring to justice all those who are caught perverting the process and helping themselves to unfair proportions of the national cake, especially portions that do not belong to them. It is certainly not to our pleasure to bring people in for interrogation, but there's always a due reward for every act of infraction.
And in Kaduna, the state government says it has uncovered about 24 billion naira of state funds saved in 470 accounts in 23 commercial banks by the past administration under different names. The Kaduna State Deputy Governor, Mr. Bala Bantex, disclosed this during a town hall meeting held in Kafanchan, the headquarters of Jama'a local government area of the state. According to the Deputy Governor, the accounts were discovered following the adoption of the single treasury account system recently introduced by the current administration led by Governor Nasir El-Rufai.
It's the third time the Kaduna State government is organizing a town hall meeting. This time, it's to intimate the citizens about what government has done so far. The administration had in August this year adopted the single treasury account and consequently directed all commercial banks in custody of the state government funds to remit such money to the Central Bank of Nigeria at the end of the exercise.
We discovered that we have no fewer than 470 accounts in Kaduna State, operated in about 23 banks. You cannot own what you don't know where it is located. Those amounts have been swept into a single account with the central bank, and that process has led us into discovering not less than 24 billion naira.
The Deputy Governor also complained that despite the autonomy granted to local governments in the state by the current administration, some councils in the state are highly indebted.
The discoveries so far show that while our youths are all over the street unemployed, we have situations where one person is sitting on 30 jobs. We cannot afford to continue in that direction. We are collecting reports on the phenomenon of ghost schools. We have discovered in our preliminary analysis and studies that not only do we have ghost workers, we have ghost schools.
Having heard from the government, the residents also want them to look into certain issues.
With all the equipment in place, healthcare delivery might not be very, very good. I therefore want to appeal. Please look into our accreditational challenges and help us attain full accreditation so that we can have more manpower that will mine the health system of our state.
The citizens may be satisfied with the outcome of the meeting. What they want is words that are matched with action to ensure transparency and accountability in governance.
President Muhammadu Buhari and former President Olusegun Obasanjo have been meeting again at the presidential villa, Abuja. The two leaders held a meeting behind closed doors for about 1 hour. Details of the meeting were not disclosed to State House correspondents, and even the former president refused to speak to journalists when President Buhari accompanied him to his vehicle. He simply told journalists that approached him to, quote, "Come out, jaw," end of quote. It will be recalled that President Buhari had on August the 21st named the former president as his special envoy to mediate and help find a solution to the crisis brewing in Guinea-Bissau. It was a roll call of prominent Ijaw people as the former president, Goodluck Jonathan, led citizens of Bayelsa State to support the second-term bid of Governor Seriake Dickson. Others who attended the declaration rally are some People's Democratic Party governors and Board of Trustee members.
Yenagoa stood still for the official declaration of Governor Seriake Dickson for second term. The immediate past president of the country, Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, called on other aspirants to shelve their ambitions and team up with the incumbent governor for the collective good of the state. This, he said, is to avoid the age-long politics of pull-him-down syndrome in the state and the Ijaw nation. Leading other party faithful, including his wife, Dame Patience Jonathan, the chairman of the PDP Governors Forum, Dr. Olusegun Mimiko, the governor of Rivers State, Chief Nyesom Wike, Chief Diepre Alamasiga, former governor of Bayelsa State, and Alhaji Asari Dokubo, along with a host of others, President Jonathan said the incumbent deserves a second term based on his performance.
We know the right, make we go. And if we go with that spirit, Bayelsa no go develop. If we allow Dixon doing 8 years.
Former militant leader Asari Dokubo called on the people of the state to close ranks by mobilizing support for the re-election of Governor Dickson.
Nobody, wherever he is, can move the Ijaw nation. We have never been conquered. And all those who have come against us with their money and their power, they know that the Ijaw nation has never been conquered.
In his own speech, Governor Dickson asked the federal government to provide an enabling environment for the forthcoming election to be credible and peaceful.
This government, your government, is a government of stability and political tolerance. When they were there, when those people contest elections, they do so with bullets and dynamite and bombs. Here in this government, even when they came to campaign against us, you saw the tolerance we displayed. Yes. They are all over holding rallies. Nobody has molested or harassed anybody. We even gave them this very stadium. They say, come here, send your programs. We will meet you idea for idea. We will meet you program for program and vision for vision.
Others who delivered were the Speaker of the Bayelsa State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Friday Kombowe Benson, Senator Foster Ogola, Wing Commander Peter Biakpara, and former Secretary of the Ijaw National Congress, Chief Francis Williams.
In part two, after the break, federal government to reduce foreign missions abroad to suit Nigeria's economic situation. And we'll also be discussing the ongoing crisis in Plateau State with a social activist. Both in a moment. Do stay with us.